To introduce to you uh, what EndNote is and how are you going to use EndNote in your assignment. Um, Remember, we are going to use a citation and referencing for your term paper, and you're using the APA format. I know it's quite complicated when we have to do citations and referencing manually. So that's why we have the EndNote tool, which is what we call a reference management tool. So you can find this software via the PolyU library, which you can download for free. Okay, so you follow the instructions here. I'm not going to elaborate how you're going to download this software. So it is available for both the PC and Mac OS. Okay, so this is part one. And first of all, you have to know what is citation and what is referencing. So briefly put, you have to add the references that you have read after you have written your essay or your term paper, because you need support for your arguments. And you may also wonder what you can put in your essay as a kind of reference. Okay, I'm sure you will be able to find some databases that allow you to search the articles or book chapters you want for your project. But remember, you have to be careful choosing the credible sources. So I would say the safest way, there are two safest ways to look for references. First of all would be, of course, be the university website, the library website. So let me do it once, and you know where to look for the materials you want. So let's say you go to the PolyU library website, and you have something called databases, and you can search the database by subject or by the database's name. So let's say you are going to look for references from the field of social sciences general. Okay, so you have a list of databases you can choose from our library. So there are two main types of references you can use, one of which would be the journal articles, which means the academic magazines that you are going to look up the topics, the issues, or the research. And number two would be books, but books by renowned publishers, academic publishers. So you can find these materials via these databases. I'm sure you may also use some media resources, but if you are talking about the most reliable, the most credible sources, go for these ones from the academic databases. You've got a list. So I usually would choose SSCI or Emerald Insight. So here I have already got this one, which is the Web of Science, which is the SSCI database. So you may want to search for something such as gender and public space. So maybe you can search from all the fields. So if you allow me to go back a little bit, so you can either search these keywords based on the title, okay, or you may search the authors, or you may search the years, or you may search like a general topic. So usually, if I am not quite sure where to start from, I will go for the keywords from all fields. And when you click search, you can get quite a lot of results. So perhaps you will need to narrow down your search. So you may find these references from the database, and I'm sure many of you would say that perhaps we deal with the reference list before we submit our essays. But my general advice would be don't, okay? You do it during writing your essay. So you keep uh, a record of what you have read before you, I mean, rather than going back to look for all the things that you have done like 3 years ago, so I mean 3 weeks ago. Okay, so this would be one of the ways that you can look for the references, or if you want to export these references to your EndNote. So you may perhaps I can click on a few here. Let's say I have chosen the first three, and then you can have export. So you can choose EndNote desktop, and your browser will download a link for you. So you choose the three results for export, and then perhaps you can choose a full record or a source or author, title, source, abstract, and then you export. And you shall receive a file with an ending of .ciw or RIS or ENW. So these are all files for your EndNote software. So I would click the file, and you can see that the three articles links or the citations or the referencing information would be downloaded to your EndNote application. So you can see if you click on the entry, you can find some details regarding the entry. For example, the title, the authors, the journal article title, the issues and the volumes and page numbers, and the abstract. And since you have to follow the APA 7th version citation and referencing formatting, all you have to do is just to choose from a list of referencing style. So you have the APA 7th version, and this is already the referencing formatting. Okay, so sometimes the formatting will be a little bit strange unless you are downloading the references from the databases. The databases will usually give you the most accurate referencing styles. But for example, if you go for Google Scholar, sometimes they will not give you a very accurate referencing formatting. So my advice would be you go for the databases first before you go to Google Scholar for your references. Okay, so perhaps let's say you've got these three references, so you can sort the authors' names by their surnames in the alphabetical order, and then maybe you can do manual copy and paste to your file once you have done your term paper. So I will start from the subheading references, and then you simply copy okay? And you deal with the font type later on. So remember, you have to make sure your font style and the font size are all consistent, okay? So it will do all the formatting for you. For example, for journal articles, the title would be as is, but the journal title would be italicized, okay, alongside the volume number, which will also be italicized. So using EndNote will save you from the time having to format these entries on your own, okay? So either you can do it manually, or you can see once you have downloaded the EndNote software, it will also ask you whether you would like to install the plugin for your word processing software, such as Microsoft Word. So you can do your citation, okay, when you are writing. So we have the plugin actually called Cite as you write. Okay, so for example, if you are going to use another entry, let's say Zambrini, for example, so you can insert citation using the EndNote 20 Cite as you write plugin. So you click insert citation, and then you search Zambrini, for example. Okay, so you've got the entry, and you can insert the kind of citation style that you want. For example, if you are doing in-text citation, sorry, integral citation, here you go. So you have Zambrini argued that and you can see automatically you've already got the reference entry at the bottom of your file. So all you have to do is to manage your writing, okay? Because you've got the reference list sorted for you automatically. But of course, you may also want to fix the formatting a little bit, because usually when we enter the references into EndNote, the title for the entry would usually be in sentence capitalization. Okay, so that means you're either capitalizing the first word of your entry. Okay, so I'll save this. And I think very soon you will have this updated, or you can also click on Update Citations and Bibliography, and you can see it changed for you. So EndNote is a useful tool, is a very powerful reference managing tool that keeps a record of all your readings. So you can see on my list, I have grouped my readings based on the topic. For example, I have your readings sorted alphabetically. Okay. And I've got some other projects as well. So I keep them in groups. But I'm not going to elaborate on how you are going to use the tool. Okay, because we've got some library workshops, or you can also go search how you're using this tool using via YouTube. And the next place you can download the citations or the references would be, again, going back to your library website, and let's say you have an item, a reference that you want to cite or you want to reference, and let's say we use this again. So we search for this item from the library OneSearch. Okay, not sure whether we've got this, but even we haven't got this, we can still see a list of references that you may want, okay, via the library website. And you can see there is a symbol denoting citation. Okay, so you can click on it. Let's say we want this one. And then you can either export it to Excel, you can have citation, you can either copy it directly to your essay, or you can download the item to EndNote. So if you are using EndNote or if you are using other referencing management tools, I would suggest that you download the citation or EndNote file. Okay, usually you can use the RIS file with other software. Okay, so last place you can look for the citation and referencing file would be Google Scholar. Okay, for example, let me search again. Let's say gender neutral toilets against. So you have a list of references here. For example, you have the second one, stalled gender neutral public bathrooms. So actually, if you are going to Google Scholar or the PolyU library, basically you can look for the full text of the reading you want to find. Okay, but in this case, we are focusing on the reference list. So you can click the quotation mark again, just like the library website. So when you click on it, you can see the APA format. Either you can copy it directly, or you can download the EndNote file. Okay, so the browser will download the ENW file for you, and all you have to do is to click on it, and you have the entry. And you may want to drag your entry to the project that you are working on. Okay, but again, as you are using Google Scholar, unless they are like journal articles, sometimes when you find some entries from, let's say, book chapters or proceedings, like conference proceedings, you can find the formatting incomplete. Let's say this one, which is a conference proceeding. For example, if you have been to a conference and you can see there are some articles included in the conference proceedings, you may actually find the reference here on Google Scholar. But again, there are some items missing. For example, the location of the conference and which publisher is responsible for the publishing. So the last place you're going to, in order to fix the formatting, of course, before you go back to EndNote, you are going to the APA website. Okay. So you have apastyle.apa.org. Okay. So at the top of the website, you have the style and grammar guidelines, including the paper format, how you are using tables and figures in your writing, in-text citations. So I've just told you about citing the references and how you are keeping your references in the reference list. So you may want to click on the reference list. So remember, you also can check the grammar and spelling punctuation through this website. So basically, APA style is what we call the publishing guideline. Okay, the publishing guideline that help with the consistency of your writing so that your writing is professional, accurate, precise, and importantly, bias-free. Okay, that would be like publishable and up to standard. And importantly, once you have learned how to write consistently in terms of formatting, in terms of grammatical accuracy, in other contexts, in other situations when you're writing for your job, you can follow the same rationale. Okay, so I click on references. So it takes a little while, so please be patient. Okay. So it even explains why you are doing reference lists. So it provides the information necessary for readers to identify and retrieve each word cited in the text. Remember, there are readers who may want to know where you got your ideas or your arguments from. So keeping a reference list also help your readers identify where they can find the works that you have cited. So you have to check the reference carefully to ensure the information is accurate and complete. So here you've got some basic principles of doing reference lists. You've got reference example and so on. Okay, so I'm not going to again elaborate further on how you're going to use EndNote or the APA style. So you have the resources in front of you where you can look up. Okay, so again, just a little bit of advice for you when you write. So on the desktop that you are working on, I mean your laptop, desktop, usually I have the file that I am working on, which is your essay, and I will turn on my EndNote at the same time, and I will also turn on my browser so that I can have the library website or the database that I have been using for the for looking for the items, the references. So you have the databases. Okay. So I will keep it uh, in my browser. So if you are entering these databases via the library website, you may have to key in your net ID and your password. And as a backup, I will also open the Google Scholar just in case. Okay, so that's all from me for a brief tour of using EndNote. Okay, thanks for watching.